Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, January 9th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Monday, everyone. Real quickly, before we get to the charts, I do want to invite you to join me later on Tuesday afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday, January 10th at 4 p.m. Central for our very first PivotBoss monthly market outlook of the year. We're going to discuss candidates to watch in January and for Q1, and we're also going to discuss various industry groups that you'll want to keep an eye on. Additionally, we'll take your requests as well. So please join me here Tuesday, January 10th at 4 p.m. Central for our first PivotBoss monthly market outlook of the year. All right, taking a look here at the ES, you'll notice right now the ES trading within a very narrow range overall these last 3 weeks or so. Friday, big outside day up, which took us to the top of the range, and right now we have a very narrow range heading into the RTH Open that is sitting just above the previous week's high price, and that right there could lead to a failure back into the previous week's range with a potential pullback to the previous week's midpoints. That would give us 3871 as a target here for the ES in the case of a failure. And the previous previous session's midpoint 3874 basically. That's 3874. That's going to be your previous week's mid. So right in that zone between 3870 and 3875, you're going to have high probability target zone. If a failure occurs, any pushback below 3910 could begin the process of a fade back into the range. And keep in mind, we are trending down still, so if we fail at this opposite edge, it could lead to a move back to the bottom edge, and at some point we're going to get a breakout from this major compression here, which could give us a huge 300 to 400 point move up ahead. So keep that in mind as well. All right, taking a look here at the NQ. Right now the NQ is trading 26% of average range. The ES is at 29%. Another narrow range here sitting just above the previous or just right at the previous week's high price. Again, very narrow range overnight, heading into the RTH session here, and is now sitting right at the previous week's high. Narrow range here that has developed over the last couple of weeks, and again, a failure to hold this upper zone here could rotate price back within the range. A rotation back to the previous week's midpoint would be 10,966. That could be an easy target for Monday, Tuesday, especially early in the week, and then we could have a rotation all the way back across the previous week's low, which would put us at 10,750. So a move all the way back across the range could be seen. Watch 11,100 as a potential failure point here for the NQ. Also, we have that narrow range that continues to develop here. That could lead to a move of about 1,000 to 1,250 points up ahead. Keep in mind also, we do have Fed Chair Powell speaking 8 a.m. Central Time Tuesday morning. That's going to be huge. We have a Fed day here, which is going to be Tuesday in terms of Fed Chair Powell speaking, and then we have inflation later on Thursday prior to the RTH Open. 1 hour prior, we get CPI data. Those 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday, could be huge days this week. Taking a look here at crude oil. You'll notice right now crude oil bouncing at the moment has been within a very clear short-term downtrend, medium-term downtrend, but for the most part right now, testing prices here above Friday's high. A little bit of intraday rounding here off the upper edge, but still very bullish. Intraday VWAP very bullish. If price can continue to hold 75.50, we could be looking at further strength up ahead. Failure hold 75.50 and you start to rotate back down within the range. Again, keep in mind, given the current directional conviction here, the expectation is for a price to come down here and retest the previous year's low at 70.08 up ahead. Looking at gold futures now. Gold futures trading higher by 0.3%. Big time strength overall out of this one. This is a big time move here out of gold so far ever since this big triple bottom right here. That has led to a huge squeeze. We're now seeing price push beyond the previous year's close price, confidently push above it. We had a retest at it, and that was defended, and now we're moving higher. The next level up, 1880, we're right there at the moment. That's the short-term level. Above 1880 starts to open up prices back toward, back between 19 and 2000, which could be big. All right, let's take a look now, lastly, at the YM. The YM here higher by about 0.3%, has a very narrow range here, 154 points of an average of 550 on a 10-day basis. That's 28% of ADR right now, so a very narrow 28% of ADR range, holding just above that narrow, the top of that narrow trading range here. But to have a narrow range sitting right above the previous high and close right there, again, a failure to hold that lower zone starts to open up a rotation back toward the previous session's mid and the previous week's mid. Previous week's mid, 33,400, could be below. That's about 480 points from where we're currently at. A failure to hold that lower edge here, call it 33,770 or so, that could start to rotate prices back down within this range. Eventually, we'll get a nice breakout from this range. At the moment where we've seen a breakout to the upside, can it maintain that strength, or do we fail back in? If it maintains the strength and we can expand, we're looking at a move that could be north of 2,000, 2,500 points even up ahead based off the compression over the last 3 weeks. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the week. We do have a big week here this week. Fed Chair Powell up Tuesday morning. We have our PivotBoss monthly market outlook Tuesday afternoon, and Thursday we will get CPI data, which could lead to huge days in the market. All right, everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the room.